generosity. So, all right, everybody. Hey, Vortex Racing. That bastard Will Hahn and that Star Team, they use Vortex Racing. Justin Barsha, Aaron Plessinger also use Vortex Racing on their sprockets. So you want to email jake@vortexracing.com to get a hell of a deal on anything from those guys. They'll dial you in. V3 bar, 29% stronger than the competition. Chad Reed, James Stewart, they've won championships using Vortex. So Vortex is pleased and proud to bring you our first guest of the night. This man might have the most passing points this past weekend at Glendale in the Triple Crown format. He's Factory Honda's Justin Brayton. JB, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, Mathis? How's everyone doing?
We're good. We're trying to get Noof into Hawaiian Supercross with Eric here.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
What do you think Noof could do?
Three-motor format again?
Oh, you're breaking up.
Yeah.
Breaking up a little bit.
If it's a three-motor format,
Yep.
Noof's going to go same competition as last year?
Yeah.
I think Noof's a top 10 guy.
Oh, Jesus. What, in the local class that they're having? Did I ever tell you that Brayton's my favorite rider of all time?
Yeah, exactly, right?
He's an arena cross guy, man.
Oh, yeah,
It's
right?
going to be big.
Yeah.
It's going to be big. Hi, Justin.
You want to, hey, talking about Hawaiian Supercross, Ryan Sipes was like McGrath in 94. Like, he was unbelievable on Hawaiian Supercross. I don't know what the deal was. Bro, ripping through the pack, tracking JB down, like getting by him. It was
On a 250.
On a 250.
Like straight up passing me. Yeah.
Yep.
It was crazy.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened. Sipes was really feeling it that weekend.
Hey, JB likes Triple Crown, right, Justin?
I do when I get good starts.
Yeah,
and,
because you got
I did not get good starts. So yeah, typically I'm a fan of them, and I still am. It's intense for sure. I mean, we say it after every Triple Crown we have every year. It's like, man, that is so intense. And once again, Glendale proved it was. It was super intense, and like we said earlier, you said, Steve, I had to pass a lot of guys, unfortunately, but
you did. Yeah,
it was a tough night, but yeah, to get sixth was pretty good. And yeah, I enjoy them though. I really do. I think it gives you a chance to reset. And then I was telling somebody last time I was hurt, I was able to watch a Triple Crown on TV and then watch a normal one the next weekend.
Yep.
And I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I think it was the Houston Supercross last year. During the Triple Crown, I was on the edge of my seat, and it was just so fun to watch as a fan. So yeah, I'm good with them. I like them.
What would you change though? Like Eric was saying, beginning of the show, like maybe. Well, he's saying it's a bit long, right?
Yeah.
Like, would you go shorter mains a little bit, JB? Would you go longer mains? Would you do 2 instead of 3? What would you change, if anything, for the Triple Crown?
As far as length, yeah, maybe 10 laps or 10 minutes instead of 12. But then again, like for me this weekend, I did get bad starts, and I still had just enough time to get to a good position.
Mm-hmm.
Where if it was even 10 minutes, maybe I don't make a couple of those passes and I end up 9th or 10th in a couple of them. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I do like them. I think the biggest thing for a team or as a mechanic is the time in between the mains. If something goes wrong, there's next to no time to fix it. If everything goes just right, it's perfect, right? You're good with it and all that from a rider's perspective and from a team's perspective. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm good with it the way it is, but also if they tweaked it, I'd be totally fine with it. I like them being the same length rather than 3 different ones.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I agree. The first year, not too weird, too short. That first one, all of that. Like they tweaked it for in the better.
Yeah.
But my favorite part of this story was Chad didn't know that. You were saying in staging?
Yeah, we were in staging for the first main, and Chad and I were talking, and he's like, "How long is this one?" I was like, "They're all 12 minutes." He's like, "No." He thought I was messing with him. He thought they were all different times.
Thought it was the original format.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I had to convince him for like a couple minutes that I wasn't joking with him and not messing with him.
You should have just said, "Yeah, bro, it's 6 minutes the first one. You got to really get on it. You got to really get on it."
He just comes out firing, full sprint.
Yeah, really, right. You got a question for Justin Brayton?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think my question is like, how do you like them all the same? I mean, obviously this weekend it played in your favor because your starts were not great. Where, when they kind of, launched this whole format a couple years ago, it was kind of we're all saying, a good start, with a guy like Vince Freeze could win a main event. So, I mean, I guess it could go either way. But I guess my real question for you is, what the hell happened to your starts, man? Last year,
yeah, like Roczen starts,
dude. Like last year, JB's starts were pretty on point, and this weekend, man, you had to work for it in the Triple Crown.
Yeah, I definitely had to work for it. And to be quite honest, I don't know. I wish I could sit here and tell you exactly what happened. There was one red flag that I came out fourth and was in a good position. So, yeah, I just wanted them times in these wrong place, wrong time as far as who you're lining up against or lining up next to. They might have got a good jump, cut me off. My first gate pick of the night wasn't that good. I didn't qualify that well out of practice, so I didn't have a great gate pick. And I'm a big believer is that kind of sets your whole tone for the night. But then I came out and got seventh in the first one, so then I had a decent gate pick, and I still didn't execute a good start. So I really don't know. Yeah.
Do you guys have a rule? Do you guys have a rule at Honda to not start next to each other? I know some teams do.
No, we don't have that rule. No.
Okay. Yeah, some teams do.
No.
I don't know. I always find it. I mean, if you
I would rather not next time, but if I had to, I don't think the team would be against it.
Right. I mean, if the grate and the part out in front of the gate is what you want, then take it, right?
Yeah, totally. Then I'd absolutely take it. And I think Kenny would do the same thing. And then, we're just not going to cut over on each other or try to go as straight as we can across the gate.
So, like I said after the race, is it true that Roczen has more horsepower than you and Honda's holding you back off the starts? Is that true? Can we start that now?
I'm going to dig a little deeper on that this week. Yeah, we've got some meetings lined up where I need to get to the bottom of that. So.
Hey, does he still have your forks on? Is he still running your fork setup?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Veteran setup.
Veteran tester, JB, just setting it all up. Hey, so Eric was also saying before the show, like, it looks like Sydney, Melbourne. You say that? What'd you say? Sydney?
No, Sydney is gone.
Okay, Melbourne.
So it's
anyways, Paris, Geneva, Melbourne, and the other one are all different weekends, JB.
I'm in.
Oh, he's in.
Oh, yeah. Of course he is.
He's in.
EP knows that.
Yeah. We don't even need to do anything. It's like he's the poster child of all those races. Anyway,
right. But
and that time of year, like a lot of people will give me crap for racing so much, but they have to remember I haven't raced since May. When that comes around, like when Paris comes around or those races, I'm ready to go. Like I don't care if I'm traveling a bunch. Like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to race, and which sets me up for Anaheim and all that. I know it's funny. Like people forget that when I'm doing all that, like, oh my gosh, he's going to be burnt out and he's doing way too much traveling. But I didn't do the 12 races in the summer. I was at the beach on vacation. I was hanging out, rejuvenating.
Right.
For then that time of year, I'm ready to go. So.
Noof, best deal in the sport is JB. Yeah. The best program by far.
I mean, he's got it made.
It's unbelievable. Every rider's going to fight to get on Justin Brayton program as soon as you give it up, JB.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's a smart.
I'm not giving it up for a while. So
right.
It's smart on his end, though. I mean, like he's making it happen while the opportunity's here. I mean. Yeah, could he not do all those overseas races and do all the traveling and the sickness from the traveling, all this and that, and save himself to be fresh for A1? But I don't know. It works for Justin. Clearly, he's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And I think racing is the best sort of practicing. You know, maybe he misses out on some testing and this and that.
Yeah.
But the racing, you can't replace that.
I always, Eric, you and I talk a lot, and obviously, and you do too. Me and you too, JB. These teams, I know a top level rider that was told by his team, you can't go to these races. What if you get hurt? I know a trainer that said you can just do one. Just one. Otherwise, that one in November is going to affect your trip. I'm just like, give me a fucking break.
What's it matter? One or
dude,
10.
If you look at A1, it was like the first turn was looking like Geneva or Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, you had JB, you had Barsha, you had Freeze.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it was like.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying the other guys were not on point, but it was like
Yes.
the guy that raced were on top of their game.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, we kind of like convincing ourselves
No,
that we're right. But
it drives me crazy when I hear these
Yeah.
teams. Like riders tell me, like, man, I want to go. Like I talked to Eric. I would like to go. My team won't let me.
yeah.
You're just like, come on. Like I get it if you're Kenny or Eli or one of these, maybe 2 or 3 guys. I get it. Yeah. You have millions of dollars in you. You know what I mean? I get that. But anybody else, like, come on. Like, so. Anyways, JB.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then what New said, like, yeah, maybe I could sit him out and be, I don't know, you could call it extra ready or whatever for Anaheim 1. But then the flip side of that is the nerves, the bike setup. I haven't raced since May. Like, there's so many things that I wouldn't want to do. I'd rather be testing at the races, which are still timing between. It's not like I'm just going to airplane the whole time. So I'm testing, and then I'm going to race. And then you push that extra bit, or you got guys around you, so you got to take different lines. So then you come back, and then you test a little bit more. Like, hey, this popped up at the race. Let's try this, and then you go race again. And I don't know. I really don't see anything wrong with it. But I've also put myself in the team manager or team owner's shoes, where, yeah, the rider is the biggest asset, and you want to keep them healthy. But I think too, a lot of guys get hurt at the test track because we're riding literally one foot of the track all the way around the track for 2 months, and you're trying to get every ounce of speed out of that track. And some days you're looking for 1/10 or 2/10, trying to go to extra speed at the track. You're just asking too much out of the track.
Yeah.
I think a lot of crashes happen then. So there's definitely 2 ways to look at it. I've chose this way, and I've included my family on the trips to Australia. Me and Eric have had a great relationship now for 10-plus years. I've got to see the world a lot because of Eric, and yeah, I wouldn't trade it for sure.
And your first race was it 5K? The very first deal with you? I thought you told me, Eric, or JB, you told me?
2,500.
2,500. Like, but again, you said, all right, I'll go. Like, I'll start here, and look what it,
I couldn't believe I was going.
Yeah, exactly.
$2,500 to go. Eric, close your ears.
Yeah. No, exactly.
But
I would have then.
Every year we've been really helping a rider, like, thanks to your help. We had Cameron McAdoo last year. We started with Straight Rhythm, took him to Europe. He was back on the radar.
Yeah.
This year it was with Joey Crown.
Yeah.
Joey, we got him in a Straight Rhythm, got him in Geneva, and that's suddenly. I mean, Justin never had to do that because he never fell off the radar.
Right.
He was just not.
He wasn't on the radar.
Not on the radar.
He wasn't on anybody's radar. He was on Budman and Hegseth's radar, and that's about it.
Exactly.
Right.
That's it.
But we got him on a radar, and that's it's. He did a fantastic job, but he knew that it takes that effort. You have to be seen somewhere else, and it's if you can't be seen in the U.S., go and shine somewhere else.
Right.
It's what I did. Nobody wanted to see me in France, so I came to U.S.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Speaking of Matt,
funny story about Berthy, actually. My first year on a 450, I was on a KTM 450 at the time, which no one wanted to ride, right? It's like 2008.
Yep.
And Eric paid me, I think it was $5,000 plus bonuses. I don't know if you remember this, Eric, but if I got a certain result, he would pay me bonuses. Well, I got second to James every moto, every night, like every sprint race. So I crushed it. It was like the most money I ever made in a weekend, man. And I remember Eric saying, hey, you'll never be on bonus program again. You'll always be on show.
Straight money.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Actually, that reminds me, like, now that McAdoo is a pro circuit Cali rider and a big star, I want my $200 back that I gave him to upgrade Brayton. You pressured me.
No, it was 400.
Oh, was it 400?
400, yeah.
Yeah, I gave.
He had a huge pulp. Like, you should be paying him more now because maybe he upped your stock a little bit.
I got McAdoo. I paid for his upgrade from Geneva home because he was like, "Come on," and I'm like, "All right, fine, here you go."
But he was running the Straight Rhythm gear, right? Wasn't that it?
I don't remember what that was.
It had a big pulp.
Was that it? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he wore this. Yeah, that's right. He had the PulpMX logo on his.
There's lots of money kicking around here. So
around Pulp.
Yeah,
no problem. I'll do it. No problem. Justin Brayton on the show, brought to you by Vortex Racing. Email Jake at vortexracing.com. Give us a call, 702-586-7857. You want to talk to JB. Got a few lines open still on the PulpMX show presented by Motorsport and Fly Racing. Justin, obviously, look, Kenny just had a dominating Glendale. It was a fantastic race. Might have been more impressive than his win in St. Louis, to be honest, the way he fought off Eli and then won 2 more times, you know. Did you not to turn this all into Kenny, but did you see this in him? Did you think you rode with him at Moto Concepts at the Honda track? Is he a new level this year? Was he better than he was? I mean, he had the red plate last year. Let's not forget. He didn't win a race, but he had the red plate. So do you think he's better this year, or is things working out for him better than they were last year? Because he did have some crappy luck at times last year.
Yeah, I just think it's another year under his belt. I mean, we all tend to forget that he's only human, and the injuries he had was catastrophic. Like, no one comes back from that, but Ken did, you know, and now we can say he's fully come back from that. He's at a level that he was before he got injured. And I for sure saw that at the test track, and just hanging out with him more and more now, just his mindset, where he's at with the motorcycle, just everything, all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. And, yeah, just because he's Ken Roczen doesn't mean that he has those injuries, and we all kind of expected him to come back and win just because he is who he is, but we tend to forget he's human too, you know, and that was just a massive injury and or couple injuries. So yeah, I just think he's at a good place with his motorcycle. I think he's at a good place with himself and just life in general. I just think he's stoked. And last year, yeah, he got nipped at the end at a couple of races, but I think he learned from that.
Right.
And now, yeah, I mean.
That's what
yeah, we're all kind of in trouble at the moment, right?
Well, that's what I was saying, like, on our review pod, like, everyone wants to go on about the St. Louis win, and it was amazing, and he's back, and he won, and everything else. But to me, the guy did everything but win a race last year. Like, last year, I thought he was awesome. Obviously, late in the season when he was dealing with that virus or whatever, it wasn't good. But until then, to me, he just hadn't gotten a win because it hadn't worked out, but he was as good as back, you know what I mean, in my mind. But I know people want, until you cross the finish line, I guess, first, then that doesn't mean you're back, but I don't know. I just wondering if he's riding any better this year, you know? So
yeah, I just think sometimes that a guy his level, like the media and fans aren't really fair with them, you know, like with guys of his level, because they just expect him to win, and they didn't see all and I didn't either, but all the stuff that he had to go through to even get back on a motorcycle, let alone at the highest level.
Right.
And to do what he did this past weekend 3 times, we all know how difficult that is to line up. And actually, we lined up 5 times, right?
Yeah, good point, right.
So to execute it every time, and to have the speed he did, the composure he did with on the first main, it was super impressive. It was really, really impressive. So, yeah, he's on it, and it's really cool to see. It's an awesome story, and glad I'm next to him on the team and get to kind of witness it from the front row seat.
Speaking of having to line up 5 times, that was leading into my next question. I mean, with the 2 restarts this weekend, tell the listeners how hard that is for not only yourself but all the riders. Like, I mean, your guys' heart rate, you're in the mode, you're in your focus, start, red flag. I mean, yeah, you get a shitty start. Of course, you can regroup, but mentally, that's got to be tough. I mean, that doing starts anytime is one of the most dangerous parts of the race. How do you guys mentally prepare? What do you do when you come back? Are you relieved? Are you pissed? Are you like, man, this has got to do this again? Just tell us kind of what goes through your head on how to regroup for that next start.
Yeah, it's really, really tough, and there's probably 2 sides to that, right? There's a split between the riders of a few, or 5, 6, 7 of them are bummed because they got a good start, so now they got to kind of hold back some anger of like, no way, dang it, they red flagged it. I just had a good start. It was going to be a good race. And then the other half is like, all right, cool, I've got another opportunity to get a good start because that one was terrible. So either way, you've got to be mentally ready. And it's almost like right when the red flag comes out, you have to just block out everything that just happened and go back to square one. Like, okay, get your mind ready to do another start, because the more you sit there and stew about the good start you just had that got ruined, it just only affects the next one. You can't do anything about the red flag. So it's definitely tough. And then, to calm your heart rate down and kind of go back to the drawing board and it's definitely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be cool for the fans, though, right? Like to see another start, because sometimes that's the most exciting part. But
Right.
yeah, difficult as a rider, but nothing we can do about it. And bummed that those guys were down. You know, we
Yeah.
never want that for anyone.
You ever race arena cross against JB Noof? Or you ever run
No.
across? No. You were
No,
busy in
never.
Canada,
I was
dominating,
always
and
Canadian guy, right? So.
right.
I think I met Noof through Northrop.
Exactly. Yeah.
Back
You
in
guys
the
were
day, yeah.
roommates back in the
Yeah.
day in the Temecula house off Winchester, I believe. If I
Yeah,
have a good memory.
exactly, yeah.
So
And
Yeah.
and NorCal was just crushing the Canadian circuit back then.
crushing a lot of things. Yeah. And
He was crushing it. Yeah. Yeah. Was he racing in Canada on Noof, or was
Yeah.
he?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because that
He
would have
was.
been going back to like when I met you. Probably the first time was like 06, 07, 08 ish type
Yeah.
thing. And yeah, NorCal was pretty steady up there, riding for Richmond Cowie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
So
and
he would
those
do
days.
arena cross and then go race in the summer up there, huh?
Exactly, yeah, and he was doing
Yeah.
well in arena cross back then too. I
Was
mean,
he?
Yeah, he was good.
He was really good.
Yeah, he was solid.
JB, pretend Eric isn't listening here. But honestly, seriously, what's the best off-season race? What's the best one? I mean, because if you say Australia, you may make him cry. But what's the best one?
No, you're probably not going to like my answer, but they're all just so unique.
Oh,
You know,
stop
like-
it! Come on.
Seriously, they are.
He won
They
Geneva
really are.
6
Like, 'cause
times.
you think about the track, you think about the logistics. The logistics, they're huge because, like, Geneva is unbelievable. You literally don't leave a mile radius, you know, like a square mile. You just stay right there. The airport, the stadium, the hotel, everything there. The race in Melbourne was great. It was super cool, right downtown Melbourne, big stadium. Paris, the new Paris is unreal.
Mhm.
I still don't think there's a vibe like the old Bercy. Like, if you're just going straight up vibe race,
Yeah.
there's nothing like the old Bercy. There's just nothing like it.
Xavier is going to get mad at us, but I agree. You can't.
Yep.
You can't beat that, man.
Just how small it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
amazing at times.
Location,
Yeah, and
location,
actually, you want to
location.
know my
Yeah.
all-time favorite race,
Mm-hmm.
Steve?
Yeah.
My all-time favorite race, U.S. Open at MGM Grand.
Come on.
And EP. That was EP's too, so he's going to like that. But I loved that race. I just think it was so cool. You never hardly went outside. You stayed at the MGM. You raced in the MGM. You had a lot of the best guys.
Yeah.
There was $100,000 on the line. Like, I don't know. There was just something about that race. And then I got excited for it because I was new to Supercross, but I was an arena cross guy.
Right.
So I could kind of really show what I had. So I don't know if it was just the timing of it, where it was in my career, but I absolutely loved that race.
I put $100 on Budman that first year at MGM. I'm like,
really?
it's arena cross, and then I'm like, oh wait, McGrath's still McGrath, and like
Yeah,
oops,
exactly.
oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say, Steve? If someone asked you, what would be your favorite? Like, out of the overseas
Well,
ones?
I haven't gone to Australian, right? I haven't gone to Aussie, so
Yeah, that's true.
But I would say the Bulgaria race, Eric.
No, Hawaii.
I'm
for
kidding.
you.
No, yeah, Hawaii is the best one, JB, for
Well,
sure.
Yeah, if you go setting wise,
Right.
yeah, Hawaii. Like, how do you beat that? Yeah.
Well, I think Bubba Pauly would have a claim that it wouldn't be the greatest because he got landed on the very. Or no, he landed on a guy
Yeah.
the very first practice,
practice.
right? But
My bad,
Yeah.
really.
but yeah, it's hard to beat those Bercy races, man, with Bam Bam and Stu and you know all the guys and Alessi. God, everyone hated Alessi.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just
Sorby.
Sorby. I mean, it was something else, right? Like every day, like what?
And the chainsaws. Like,
Yeah.
As a fan or even as a rider, like I remember on the parade lap one time, the air horns and chainsaws and everything were so loud. Like I couldn't even hear my bike. It was crazy. One of my first times there, I just couldn't believe it. And then by the end of the night, we're literally not racing on dirt anymore. We're racing on newspapers because there's so much paper on the track.
That's true. I never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, or magazines or whatever.
Yeah. And dude, you think about it, like you're going fast down that tunnel.
Oh,
As you're
yeah.
right next to a
Super
concrete
fast, yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
I don't know, JB. It's a good question. Bercy was special for sure, but yeah, Geneva's got its own moments too. I love the history of these places, right? That's what I love. I love the history of these. That Geneva goes back that long, Bercy goes back that long. These guys have all been doing,
Yep.
that's really cool. I
Is
think.
Geneva the oldest one? Is it 30+ years or something?
In the same location, they've run it since '88.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to leave a couple of years because there was some kind of renovation, but
Right.
everybody forgot.
Steve, I was just thinking I should probably give you the trophy from Geneva this past year.
Oh. Wow.
And
Listen.
a picture of me and Lars and Duff and Eric.
Listen.
A picture of the trophy.
You look at that thing and you keep it, and then every morning you realize how lucky you were. How lucky that we lost our front end while we were checking out. The best part of the whole thing is, and Wygant won't let me forget, is he lost the night after I worked on his fork. I fixed his bike. That was when he lost. Right.
Yeah, that whole weekend was just a blast. Like, just everything, the way it went down, you couldn't have scripted it any better.
No.
Me showing up on like Saturday morning, you're working on Marty's bike. Like, it's just, I wish we could have video cameraed the whole
JB's got
thing,
no gear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, JB's got no gear.
No
Right.
gear.
Yeah.
Well, and that first practice, you weren't that good. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, what's up? I didn't say, like, hey, you weren't good. I don't remember saying that to you. But I'm like, hey, how's it going? You're like, dude, I got my boots are the wrong size, wrong braces.
My helmet was good. That was it.
Yeah. How crazy was that they had a JB Showy in stock, some dealer or some.
It was unbelievable. That was what makes it fun. It's all that stuff that happened at the last minute that everybody gets involved. I mean, everybody gets involved.
Well,
I mean, we would have been flying gear from US if it was closer.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
And I love the fact, JB, at one point it's me, you, Duff, and Lars, and Mookie, and Barsha, and I think there was a couple other guys there, and we were all debating like one guy on the East Coast that I'm really hyped on. We were all talking about that. It was like that doesn't happen in America. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it doesn't. Those are the special moments for sure. That's really fun about those races and unique. And whatever happened with that? Are you still on the train for the East Coast?
Talks are ongoing. So
okay.
Absolutely. So, hey, I wanted to ask you also. So, Luke Clout, who gave you a lot to handle down there in Australia, Jay Wilson, and this Aaron Tanti kid. They're back in the 250 class. Hey, they're fast, JB, but they're all sketchy, dude. Well, maybe not Wilson so much, but Clout and Tanti are very exciting. Like, they're fast. Don't get me wrong, but man, they are getting introduced to American Supercross.
Yeah. It just kind of proves how much different it really is, from the tracks to the dirt. The way we build the tracks and that's what people say when I go down there. They just like expect me to win because it's Clout and Reardon and Metcalf and guys that, if they're here, I probably do beat them, but there it's really, really difficult. It is, and I just take it as a challenge and a way for me to get better over here. But I'm a huge fan of Jay Wilson. Super cool guy, great family guy, and we hang out a lot when I'm down there. And,
yep.
I haven't got to watch that much though. To be honest, the races I've kept my radar on Luke a little bit because I'm pretty connected with the Australian Honda team and Yuriv, the team owner, and everything. So I'll pop over there and kind of get some updates during the week on how things are going. I actually thought Luke would be better. I mean, seriously, at the last round, he was straight up faster than me and Anderson in practice. He beat us both in Super Pole. Like, the guy was super, super legit. But then again, it's really tough to go to a different brand, a different size bike, and then also come over here, and your fitness has to be on a totally new level. Your intensity is through the roof over here. The races are a lot longer. So the last 3 rounds, I believe, in Australia were all Triple Crowns, but it's only like 7 or 8 laps, so they're really, really quick. So your fitness really doesn't have to be that great.
Right.
So I just think he's kind of thrown into the wolves. But, I think he's doing well.
Right.
He's in the top 10. I had put him in the top 5, I think, for a couple races here, the first 5 or so rounds. But really good rider. And it's cool that Yuriv has done that for those guys. He basically did that pretty last minute to just say, hey, Oldenburg doesn't have anything, and Clot wants to go, so let's go. And
there's
his setup's pretty legit.
There's not any real benefit for Yuriv to do this, as that I can tell. He's not making money. It's not. It's
just a dream of his. I mean, you know him a little bit. He's a super passionate guy, and it's just been a total dream it's cool to see him make it happen in such a short amount of time.
You know who was there this weekend? Noof. Medi.
Yeah.
Medi was back. I hadn't seen him for a couple of years. So.
Yeah, I didn't end up running into him, but got to know him a little bit when he was up in Canada, and man, he still goes fast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he does. He does. He gave me everything I could handle last year.
Yeah.
2018 Supercross over there. Yeah, he rides good still.
Yeah.
Really good.
Justin Brayton on the PulpMX show, presented by Motorsport and Fly Racing. He's on courtesy of the folks at Vortex Racing. Email Jake at vortexracing.com and see if you can get a deal. Same sprocket that jerk-off Will Hahn uses there at that Star Racing team. So I'm just bitter, JB, because we're trying to test this bike, and it's not working, and Will's
Is it not happening?
I don't know. Will says it's soon, but then nothing else. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Steve,
right.
me and Kenny went on a mountain bike ride today. You didn't want anything. You wouldn't have had anything for us.
Oh,
today.
yes, I would have. I've got an e-bike. I would have absolutely. I would have. I could keep up with anyone in the world.
Well, dude, you've taken a few days off, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, I just put that thing on boost. No problem. So.
Yeah, there you go.
How was it? Was fun?
Oh yeah, super fun. Always good to hit some new trails that I've never ridden. So,
right.
Yeah.
Listen, you get on a intense taser, it'll change your life, JB.
Specialized. Leave up.
Here we go. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it. Good work this weekend. Like I told you after the race, you got the most passing points. If it was an ultracross with like Jim Hawley and all that, you would have had the most passing points. So yeah. So
awesome.
Good
Thanks
work.
for having me on.
Thanks, JB.
Have a good show.
All right, thank you, man. See you. That's Justin Brayton. He was good in the whoops too, by the way.
Always.
He was he was always good. Kenny was good. Kenny was, I think, the most consistently fast guy. Like, I didn't see any mistakes from Kenny, where you see mistakes from the other guys, So